What's going on, everyone? Patrick here with Red 6. Behind me, we've got our 1973 Dodge Charger. Today, we're going to be putting on some nice big Wilwood brakes. So this car actually already had Wilwoods on it, but it had these smaller ones that were designed to be kind of not a stock replacement. They're still a lot better than stock, but meant to be, you know, just kind of an upgrade. 4-piston calipers. Still works with a smaller, all the way down to like a 14-inch steel wheel. These ones here will still work with our 15s, which is what we're going to still be running on this car, which we've got something cool to show you here in the next couple of weeks about what our track day setup is going to be on this car. But these new ones, you can see here how much bigger these brakes are. I mean, look at this. I don't know if you get a good grasp of that or not, but it is an enormous difference. Look at this. That tells the story there. That's the difference all the way around. That's a huge difference, you guys. Like, it may not look that big. To me, that looks huge. But if you don't have a ton of experience with brakes, that's a huge difference. So this is cool. This is going to be a really easy install because the car already had Wilwoods on it. The spindles already had what they needed to have done. All we had to do is change this caliper bracket here. Because obviously with a larger rotor, the caliper is going to need to be spaced out a little bit farther. And then we're going to be putting on the rotor onto the hat, and then that assembly will replace the rotor and hat assembly that's already on the hub. So really, really simple. We're just going to hop right into it, and we're going to start by just putting the rotor onto the hat. All right, so we've got this laid out here. We've got our bolt kit that always comes with it. This is really straightforward. Just make sure you have it oriented correctly. The instructions will tell you exactly what to do, but in this particular car, you can see the rotor, basically the flat side, the holes are kind of on one side of the rotor. They're not centered. So in this case, they're on the side that mounts to the hat, and the hat has a little shoulder. It's going up into the rotor. So that's the same as what our old one was. Check your instructions before you do it, because I've made that mistake a lot of times where I get it all together in a way that I thought was right, didn't pay any attention, like, oh, this is it. And then you put it on the car and you're like, oh, nothing lines up right. Believe me, it's easy to do. So just triple check, make sure that you have it right. Nothing to it. These are just, you're gonna start them all. These are little Torx, nice little Torx bolts that Wilwood includes with the kit. Get them all started. You'll obviously need to have your Torx bit. In this case, it is a, what size is this? I don't know what size it is. It fits, so that's all I care about. Whatever. So, and just like a wheel, you're gonna go in a cross pattern. So I'll start here, get it kind of snug, go over here. It's not a huge critical thing. That's why I just get them all started first. These are pretty precision fit, so there's not a whole lot to it. But I still like to just go side to side. Make sure they're all perfectly even. That way, shouldn't have any weird wobbles or balances on the car. Imbalances, I should say. Just keep going, just one after the other. This is a really easy, you can change your own oil, you can do this. Full-blown Wilwood kit, yeah, it takes a little bit of doing, but it's nothing crazy. When we first did this kit, there was a little bit of drilling we had to do, but this was a pretty easy install. I think just about anybody could do this. Just watch some videos and read the instructions, and Wilwood has a very good customer support line, so you can always call them if need be. So, get all these nice and tight, and then it'll be ready to swap over onto the hub. And it's actually just that simple. So getting these snug, and then I'll go back and just make sure all of them are tight. And these pretty much just stop. There's not a lot to this. Like, you don't really have to question whether these are tight or not. So that's that. This is all nice and ready to go. So I'll move that out of the way for now. And we're gonna just come over to our hub. This is what was on the car. It's a slightly larger Torx. So I'll swap that out. This one I think does have a size. This is a T45 on this one. So these are the center bolts here. This has gone through several heat cycles. So it's possible that I'm gonna stick this in the vise. Or, stop being a sucker, grab an impact gun. Let's see if this will do it. There we go. Alright. Obviously I need a new chuck for it, or a bit. Off comes. In theory. I'm assuming it's just stuck, again from the heat cycles. Just gonna kind of give it some wax here, just to make just to see what might be going on. All right, it was just really stuck. So I clamped this in the vise and then hit it with a hammer, and eventually it worked out. It came off pretty quick actually once I did that. So this was just stuck. So anyways, that's fun. Now, this new one should slide right on place. Yes. Starting by hand once again. It looks so good on here. Fill up those wheels. Can't wait. So this, in this case, I am going to use the impact on this again. However, I'm not going to just sit there and ooga it down. I'm going to go slow first, again in a cross pattern. Just like that. Alright. Then just for fun, I'm going to come back with the smaller one. Get the rotor, make sure it's tight. Seems good. Good to go. So now this is ready to put on the spindle. And then we'll put our inner wheel bearing on here. Get that lined up. Get the nut just kind of snug. With the nut, you always want to basically get it finger tight and then a little more with a wrench. You do not tighten these as much as they'll go, because then your wheel won't spin. You can develop a feel for it. Still spins nice and good. Look at that. Looks awesome. So much nicer, so much more area on that. It's gonna be great. Can't wait to see these inside the wheel. Going around the racetrack with our nice big new tires on there that we'll be showing you guys really soon. That's all there is to it. Caliper will bolt onto the new bracket using the old hardware. There's not a lot else to say. It's a pretty easy install. And that is gonna make our charger stop a whole lot better. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you check out red6.design for all of our merch. We've got our OG collection, it's all like the red 6 gear with our logo on it, just kind of the cool stuff. And then we've got our Wilkesboro collection. It's doing great. People are loving it. I cannot just thank you guys enough for all the positive feedback that we've gotten, not only on these videos, but on the shirts, on the hoodies. We've got all kinds of cool accessories on there now to check out. We've got shirts with this car on it, shirts with my Challenger, the Heck Cat. We've got the Raptor on some of those. We've got all sorts of cool stuff. You guys, thank you so much again for tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss any videos, and we'll see you next week.